The drought in Nebraska is prompting concerns about the need to conserve water. And here in Omaha, the Papio NRD issued a voluntary water conservation advisory just this month.
And as our Marlo Lundak reports, other communities are seeing more dire situations and residents are voicing their concerns when it comes to water conservation efforts.
After a 2-to-1 vote at City Council, residents in Waverly are one step closer to potentially paying more for their water.
I think my biggest concern is the consumption. We need to slow down the consumption. We know that. I mean, that's facts. Nobody can dispute that.
Due to drought conditions, the aquifer that supplies the city's wells are dangerously low. Some of the wells are just a few feet away from their automatic shutoff points. For nearly a month, residents have been in a voluntary water conservation advisory.
We did follow the voluntary mandate that they put out on June 3rd. So we did restrict our water usage for watering our grass and everything.
But the mayor says it hasn't made a difference. And as a result, council approved the first reading of 2 new ordinances. The first ordinance would put Waverly under mandatory water conservation efforts. That means residents must limit their usage and do things such as water their grass on certain days of the week. The next ordinance would increase fees for residents who use more than 10,000 gallons of water per month. Right now, that's half of all Waverly residents.
It's kind of disheartening when you sit in this meeting and you see families that are 4, 5, 6 people in their household who, according to the national average, like the lady next to me said, is 3,000 gallons per month usage, and now they're going to be fined.
For every 1,000 gallons used over that 10,000 gallon limit, residents will be charged $5.
With the 10,000, with $5 for every 1,000, a family of 5, national average is about 3,000 gallons per person. So my family of 5 would average about 15,000 gallons. That means a $25 fee, which is a 25% increase in my water bill alone, which is already over $100 a month.
Some say the communication from the council and the mayor has been lacking, and some in town have been blindsided by the idea of raising water rates.
I really wanted to know why we're only using social media to notify a community whose residents are of all age brackets, and my neighbors don't get on social media.
I didn't see this posted anywhere. It hasn't been on water bills about the conservation. There hasn't been postings around the community.
The ordinances must go through 2 more rounds of approval before they take effect. The next vote is expected to take place in 2 weeks. On your site in Waverly, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
We have details about the potential restrictions in Waverly on our website. Right now in the Omaha Metro, there are currently no restrictions.